66 degrees at 4 minutes after the hour. Some fog still in the area this morning, so drive cautiously as you're out there this morning. A week from tomorrow is Veterans Day, and that means Veterans Day Parade here in Sylacauga. Joining us this morning is a member of the American Legion and Disabled Veterans, Ed Jenkins. And Ed, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Jimmy. Good morning, Jimmy Dale. We appreciate the opportunity to be with you this morning.
Well, it's good to have you with us. And of course, a week from tomorrow, the Veterans Day Parade. And boy, you told me some good news this morning about the folks who's going to be involved in the parade.
Oh yes, we will have. Well, basically we have our Veterans Unit. We'll have the two units from here, the American Legion, the VVA, and of course we're going to have the DAV this year. That's their first year. And then we have got some people that's going to walk in it, I understand, from the National Guard. So, and then we have all of our people from the two local high schools, and we're just going to have a great time. And then we're going to have the lady from the Republican Party that's one of the ladies from the Republican Party that's going to be in the parade this year. So it's going to be great. And of course, you know, as usual, I don't know how he wants to be in the parade. We usually put our representative, Ron Johnson, in the parade. We're just going to have a great big time.
What about the World War II veterans? They're going to be honored, are they not?
The World War II veterans will be honored. They are the Grand Marshal this year parade, all of them. So
how many are there, Ed?
Well, we have 6 in all, but we probably will have 4 of them within the parade that we know of. One of them will be with his family in Georgia, and another, I don't know, one of them in Puerto Bay 10. We hope they'll have 4 or 5 or 10.
Now, this is coming up on November the 11th. On a Wednesday. What time does it start and the route is going to take?
Well, we will have it, you know, it will line up at the stadium at 8:30. We'll come down, I understand, Broadway, and then we'll come down there. And
so is the parade at 9, is that right?
Or parade's at 10.
Okay.
Parade will come down Broadway, and I understand, if I'm correct, and hopefully I am correct, that we're going to turn there around Stanton and go back up.
Mm-hmm. And also, they're going to have a gathering over at the municipal complex, too.
There'll be a big gathering over at the municipal complex. We will have speakers at that, and a reception following where we always have hamburgers and hot dogs and whatnot to show our appreciation to the people that turn out. Now, last year, starting this one back, as we all know, we had over 500 people turn out for in the morning thing. And this was a year, and we're hoping for a greater turnout, Jimmy Dale, this year than we had last year. And I thought it was such a great turnout last year. Now, we also have sent out to some of the churches and the police department this year is going to have their hominy. And I'm talking to the chaplain the other day, Brother Ledbetter. I think they're going to have something else in there too.
Are the schools going to be involved this year?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, we have the B.B. Comer School, the Sylacauga High School, and the B.B. Comer schools will be involved greatly. We sent out emails to Fayetteville and Chillerburg and Winterburg. Now, all of you volunteer fire departments and rescue squads, they'll be greatly involved this year, all of them.
Ed Jenkins, our guest this morning. The Veterans Day Parade is slated for a week from tomorrow, the 11th day of November, which is Veterans Day. And what should Veterans Day mean to Americans, Ed?
It's a fact Veterans Day should mean to all veterans, and it does veterans. There's a time that we're still free, a freedom of worship and a freedom of speech, and just freedom in general, as long as it's right.
You served in Vietnam. You were wounded, what, 3 times?
3 times, Jimmy Dale, 3 times.
And Purple Heart Award winner, is that correct?
Purple Heart, 3 Purple Hearts.
3 Purple Hearts. And, there are a lot of people, men and women alike, who put their life on the line for us, whether it be emergency people or, in this case, veterans. And I just saw just a few days ago where President Obama is sending special ops forces into Syria, and these wars don't seem to end, do they?
No, it may sound right jokeable, but I heard Colonel Sprayberry say one time, and Daddy did too, don't start nothing that you can't finish. And ever since World War II, seemed like that's been our problem. We'll help somebody or start up something and never finish it. That's the reason we're in the situation now with the ISIS. It's been started up and it's unfinished.
What do veterans expect from Americans like me?
Oh, from every American, we expect that dignity, honesty, and be proud of our country. And and people like you and the people in Sylacauga, 99% of them are real proud. And by the way, I'll throw this in. Your son that works for law enforcement, bless his heart, he and I had a long talk, and he is the most patriotic young man that I've talked to in ages. And let me throw a word in there. When we're talking about veterans, we have a lot of veterans in law enforcement. Mm-hmm. And they all do a good job. And we have some on our police department locally, and they do a good job. Sergeant Collier, he's one of them, and they all do a good job. And they work together, and we have a great city, a great town that's very patriotic. And we don't never want to forget that we try to tie this in together. Our veterans, our police department, our fire department, rescue squad, all defenses, we try to tie them in together and have a great city, and we're really proud of it.
And we're wanting to educate and teach our younger generation, our kids in school now, about the importance of veterans and military service. And so I know that Sylacauga and Fayetteville and Childersburg, they all have special programs for veterans.
Yes.
And special times that veterans get together with them too.
This will be the first year. I talked to retired Sergeant Norris of Children. This will be the first year that they have not had one.
So Childersburg's not doing it this year?
Childersburg not having one this year. Fayetteville, always has their big one. Mm-hmm. Childersburg even had a bigger one last year than Fayetteville, but he talked to me. But he is helping in the parade. Mm-hmm. They'll be have his honor guard people from Childersburg High School. They will be in the parade, and I understand some more people from Childersburg. But he could not get the situation fixed like he wanted it, and and that sometimes happens. But this year, everything seemed to fall in place as well as last year. Now we had a little more time this year than we did last year. And by the way, if anybody listening this morning wants to get in, we need to have them try to contact Ken Brewer at 245-8899 or Ed Jenkins at 256-786-1622, and we'll get them in. We'll get that application to them, get it back to Ken, get them in so he can line up everything Wednesday.
And again, as we close this morning with the Vietnam vet and a member of the American Legion, Ed Jenkins, the parade is going to be a week from tomorrow, the 11th day of November. And the parade's going to start down by the high school and start about 10 o'clock?
10 o'clock.
And it will continue through downtown Sylacauga.
And take a right and go up
on
north.
1st Street and go back down to Norton. And so we appreciate Ed being with us this morning. And Ed, in closing today, I'm sure it would be good if people line the streets of Sylacauga 4 and 5 deep to support our veterans.
Yes, it would. That's what happened last year, Jimmy Dale, and we want them to do the same thing this year, just to show support for our veterans and our local people and law enforcement, and rescue squad, everyone's saying. So we're going to have a great time. And last but not least, some of our hospice groups, I think, are going to be in, and they do a great job too.
All right.